Hi, sugar pies. How's it going today? I hope everybody is doing good. I hope you're feeling good, looking good, smelling good. I hope everything is good in your neck of the woods. Anywho, so over here in my neck of the woods, it's not too bad. It's a bit rainy, a little cloudy springtime showers type deal, not super gloomy, and not super duper cold, but you know how it is. But I'm feeling pretty nice, feeling pretty good today. And it's Tuesday, so that means we're going to do some true crime stuff. Before I get into it, though, I want to address, okay, listen up. I know that I'm always talking about how I want to do little known cases. And I do. I still do. But, I mean, how did we all get into true crime? Think about it. What is one of the cases that you heard about that got you into the true crime genre of, I don't know, entertainment or whatever you want to call it? What got you into true crime documentaries and, whatever? One of mine happens to be this case right here, the Black Dahlia. It is very, if you haven't heard of this case, even if you're not a true crime person, if you haven't heard about the Black Dahlia murder, you must be living under a rock or something. This is one of the most well-known, famous, whatever you want to call it, cases ever. And like I said, this is one that got me extremely interested in true crime stuff. And this happened in 1947, the 1940s. I think it's 47. This happened in the 1940s and is still unsolved to this day. But I have my opinions on who did it. And I have found a little video that we'll be watching. Yes, I will be pulling it up and you will be watching it with me. Hopefully I don't get struck. Fingers crossed. I forget what the channel name is. I'll repeat it when I pop up the video. I will say the channel's name, and I will link the channel in the description so you can go and check out their all of their content. I give credit where credit is due on this channel. Like, I'm not trying to steal anybody's shit that they worked hard on and claim it to be mine and blah, 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 blah. No, I give credit where credit is due. I will be respectful. I will shout out your channel name, leave the link to your channel in the description, and make sure everybody knows if they want to watch the video again or if they want to watch your other content, please go to this channel. Okay? So, fingers crossed that this channel doesn't strike us maybe, but, things happen. Anyway, if anybody jumps in live and chat, I'm sorry if I don't see your comments right away. I'm going to be, watching this video with you guys. But I'll stop to the commentary, the fair use thing, if you're adding commentary, it's within fair use. We all know the fair use thing. But regardless, like I said, I give credit where credit is due, and I'm going to link the channel in the description of this video when we're done. Okay? Anyway, and like I said, if nobody pops in live, no big deal. There's always the playback. And I hope you people who watch the playback enjoy this. Please let me know if you have, in the comments, if you have any questions, concerns, whatever. All right. Let me get this started here. Okay. Now, I do want to say, you guys, because the last true crime that we did, there's Marshall's Docs, I think is the name of this channel. I think it is. But anyway, regardless, I will give it a shout out. Link will be in the description to this channel. Much love. Thank you. I give, like I said a billion times now, I give credit where credit is due. I urge you to go to this channel and check out more of their content. I know I will definitely be checking out more of their content. Link to the channel in the description after we are done here. Okay. Anywho, what was I going to tell you? So we don't have any hiccups like we did last time. There was a bit of an echo. I will be muting and unmuting so we don't have that echo problem. Hey, Amanda. Oh, you're good. You're good, babe. You're good, babe. No biggie. You be careful driving. Oh, man. It's so hot in here for some reason. Whew. All right. Let's get this show on the road, my dears. One sec. Actually, give me just a second, babes. I am going to go change the shirt because I'm hot. I'm sorry. I'm going to change the shirt. It is awfully warm in here. Your girl likes to be comfortable. All right. There we go. Perfect. Okay. I'm ready to go. Like I said, I will be pausing to add my commentary so, we don't get in trouble. Fingers crossed, but. All right, here we go, guys. I'm going to get this started.
Elizabeth Short, or the Black Dahlia, was just 22 years old when she was brutally murdered in Los Angeles on January 15, 1947. It remains one of Hollywood's oldest cold cases to this day. Join us. The 1947 murder of Elizabeth Short, also known as the Black Dahlia, is one of the oldest cold cases in Los Angeles to date. Not only was it a horrific crime, it was also notoriously difficult to solve. In the decades since the Black Dahlia murder, police, the press, and amateur sleuths alike have all delved deep into this unsolved crime and developed several convincing theories. Though we may never know who killed the Black Dahlia, Poring over the evidence in this case is just as darkly fascinating today as it was in 1947.
Okay. All right. I want to kind of read this little description here. I know this is what the thumbnail is, but I want to kind of read this. So the description is she's, of course, female, American, 22 years old. Wow. Just 22. So sad. 5'6". That's almost my height. I'm 5'7". 118 pounds, skinny bitch. Black hair, green eyes, very attractive. Oh, very attractive. What the hell? How can you? That's kind of weird. How can you describe? I mean, wait. This might be her missing. I don't know. Wait a minute. Let's read more. Bad lower teeth, fingernails chewed to the quick. This subject found brutally murdered, body severed, and mutilated January 15th of 1947 at 39th and Norton. So that's the street that, they found her in that little field or whatever. That's so weird. That is a weird way of describing a body. Very attractive. I don't know. I mean, she's a beautiful girl. Well, was a beautiful girl. But anywho, let's see. Subject on whom information wanted, last seen January 9th, 1947, when she got out of a car out at Biltmore Hotel. At that time, she was wearing black suit, no collar on coat. Okay. Probably cardigan style. Okay. So she was wearing a black suit that, she had it was like a cardigan, whatever. A white fluffy blouse, black suede high-heeled shoes, nylon stockings, white gloves, full-length beige coat, carried black plastic handbag, 2 handles, 12x8, in which she had black address book. Subject readily makes friends with both sexes and frequented cocktail. I wonder if that line right there, subject readily makes friends with both sexes, is that supposed to mean she I mean, you read it and you're like, oh, friends, friendly. But I wonder if that was code, how things were back in the day, being, bisexual or anyway was very taboo or whatever. I wonder if that's code for she swings both ways. I mean, have you guys watched the movie? I know the movie is not historically accurate. It's just a made up, whatever. That movie with Josh Hartnett in it. It's just a movie that was made based on this story. It's not it's not true. But in that movie, she did naughty things with girls. So I don't know. I know that movie's just a movie, though. I mean, it's based on this occurrence, but the actual events in that movie did not happen. You know what I mean? It's just a made up movie, whatever. Anyway, she frequented cocktail bars and night spots. So what your average 22-year-old do, bar hopping, going to clubs, shit like that. On leaving car, she went into lobby of the why do I keep wanting to say Baltimore? Biltmore, and was last seen there. Inquiries should be made at all hotels, motels, apartment houses, cocktail bars, and lounge nightclubs to ascertain whereabouts of victim between dates mentioned. What's the rest say? Let's see here.
1947.
In conversations, subject readily identified herself as Elizabeth or Beth Short. Okay. All right, so let's keep going and watch the rest of this. Like I said, I will be pausing to add commentary so we don't get in trouble or nothing, you know. And a link to this channel will be in the description, okay? Promise.
On January 15, 1947, Elizabeth Short's dead body was found in the Los Angeles neighborhood of Leimert Park. The first person who reported the grisly sight was a mother out for a morning walk with her child. According to the woman, the way Short's body had been posed made her think that the corpse was a mannequin at first, but a closer look revealed the true horror of the Black Dahlia crime scene. The 22-year-old Short had been sliced in two at the waist and completely drained of blood. Some of her organs, such as her intestines, had been removed and neatly placed underneath her buttocks. Pieces of flesh had been cut away from her thighs and breasts, and her stomach was full of feces, leading some to believe that she'd been forced to eat them before she was killed. The most chilling mutilations, however, were the lacerations on her face. The killer had sliced each side of her face from the corners of her mouth to her ears, creating what's known as a Glasgow smile. Since the body had already been washed clean, Los Angeles Police Department detectives
That is wicked. Wicked, wicked, wicked. Whoever did that is a pure, evil, sadistic, weird. Oh my, oh my. Because that is horrible. The whole thing about her having poo-poo in her stomach, I don't know. I being forced to eat poo-poo. Like, he doesn't really explain. I mean, was it actually in her stomach? Or do you mean like she had like it in her bowels, like, you know, poo-poo time? I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to be very non-graphic. I mean, this is pretty graphic, but anywho, this is gross. And just by the way that she was found, there was no blood. She was clean, cut in half, all of her insides. She was basically, she was like essentially gutted. Like I've heard like her uterus and everything was cut out and all of that. Somebody, a surgeon, had to have done this. Period, point blank. Somebody who was a professional or somebody who, you know, really, really studied it. I don't know. But somebody who was familiar with surgical procedures did this. Period, point blank. I don't see anybody, just some regular Joe who's, you know, twacked out of his mind. Oh, excuse me. Twacked out of his mind, going to this extent, you know, removing her organs, cutting her in half, cutting her face, like, you know, that smile thing or whatever, draining her blood, cleaning her up. Not, I mean, and I just don't see anybody who would, just a regular Joe doing it. You know, your average run-of-the-mill psycho killer. I don't see them doing that. This had to been done by a surgeon. It had to have been. Anyway, let's continue.
Detectives concluded that she must have been killed elsewhere before being dumped in Lamert Park. Near her body, detectives noted a heel print and a cement sack with traces of blood that had presumably been used to transport her body to the vacant lot. The LAPD reached out to the FBI to help identify the body by searching their fingerprint database. Short's fingerprints turned up rather quickly because she had applied for a job as a clerk at the commissary of the U.S. Army's Camp Cook in California back in 1943. And then her prints turned up a second time, since she had been arrested by the Santa Barbara Police Department for underage drinking, just 7 months after she'd applied to the job. The FBI also had her mugshot from her arrest, which they provided to the press. Before long, the media began reporting.
I just wanted to pause and say, what a fabulous mugshot. I'm just saying. Yeah, her hair's a little wild, but that is a beautiful mugshot. What a beautiful gal. Look at that profile. Beautiful. I don't know how she was a quote unquote failed actress. Because, well, maybe her acting did suck, but she's absolutely beautiful. Anyway, I just had to pause and say that.
Reporting every salacious detail they could find about Short. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Short's mother Phoebe Short didn't learn of her daughter's death until reporters from the Los Angeles Examiner telephoned her pretending that Elizabeth had won a beauty contest. They pumped her for all the details they could get on Elizabeth before revealing the terrible truth. Her daughter had been murdered and her corpse had been dismembered in unspeakable ways. As the media learned more about Elizabeth Short's history, they began to brand her as a sexual deviant. One police report read, "This victim knew at least 50 men at the time of her death, and at
How would they know that she was with so many men? Is what I would like to know. How would they know that? Are they just going off of, I don't know, what they think, I guess? I don't know. Man, see, this is what I'm saying. It's ridiculous. Oh, she would have been with like 50 men. She was with 50 men. She was a sexual deviant. How did they know that? Did they talk to those 50 men and figure it out? And if she's been with a lot of men, that doesn't necessarily make her a sexual deviant. It just makes her a little fast, you know? She likes to get it on, you know? She's 22-year-old. I was being wild when I was 22, going to bars and going home with strange men and stuff like that. Didn't make me sexually deviant or anything. I was just young and wild and free. But, you know, this is the 1940s we're talking about here. So, anyway, that kind of drives me nuts. How do they know that she was a sexual deviant? But whatever. Like I said, this is the 1940s. These are, you know, the FBI, police, whatever from the 1940s. Yeah, you know. And technology that is available today wasn't available back then, you know. I mean, fingerprints was about The only thing they could really go, well, I can't say that. The only thing, because, I'm not educated in, what all detectives and such used back then. But I do know that there wasn't as much technology back then as there is today to figure this shit out, DNA and stuff like that. I know that for a fact. We all know that. That's just common knowledge. Anyway, let's keep going.
And at least 25 men had been seen with her in the 60 days preceding her death. She was known as a teaser of men. They gave Short the nickname, the Black Dahlia, due to her reported preference for wearing a lot of sheer black clothing. This was a reference to the movie The Blue Dahlia, which was out at the time. Some people spread the false rumor that Short was a prostitute, while others baselessly claimed that she liked to tease men because she was a lesbian. Adding to her mystique, Short was reportedly a Hollywood hopeful. She had moved to Los Angeles just 6 months before her death and worked as a waitress. Sadly, she had no known acting jobs, and her death became her one claim to fame. But as famous as the case was, authorities had tremendous difficulty figuring out who was behind it. However, members of the media did receive a few clues. On January 21st, about a week after the body was found, the Examiner received a call from a person claiming to be the murderer, who said he would be sending Short's belongings in the mail as proof of his claim. Shortly thereafter, on the 24th, the Examiner received a package with Short's birth certificate, photos, business cards, and an address book with the name Mark Hansen on the cover. Also included was a letter pasted together from newspaper and magazine letter clippings that read, "Los Angeles Examiner and other Los Angeles papers, here is Dahlia's belongings, letter to follow." All of these items had been wiped down with gasoline, leaving no fingerprints behind. Though a partial fingerprint was found on the envelope, it was damaged in transport and never analyzed. On January 26th, another letter arrived. This handwritten note read, "Here it is. Thursday, January. Had my fun at police. Black Dahlia Avenger." The letter included a location. Police waited at the appointed time and place, but the author never showed. Afterward, the alleged killer sent a note made of letters cut and pasted from magazines to the Examiner that said, "Have changed my mind. You would not give me a square deal. Dahlia killing was justified." Yet again, everything sent by the person had been wiped clean with gasoline, so investigators couldn't lift any fingerprints from the evidence. At one point, the LAPD had 750 investigators on the case and interviewed.
I wonder, maybe somebody can, if you're watching this, maybe maybe you can educate me. Has there been anybody reopening this case as of lately with all the new technology that we have now? I mean, the person who did this is probably dead by now, I'm sure. But it's just crazy. It's crazy because I just feel like in this day and age, this could be solved. Is there anybody working on it? Is there any detectives that are still working on it, or did they just give up and not care anymore and just oh, fuck it, it's old news? It's just, that's what I'm telling you guys. This is one of the stories that got me into true crime stuff. And it's just the mystery of it all, the absolutely craziness. It's just the brutality of it. It's oh, wow. But like I said, to me, this was somebody who knew who's possibly practiced or just read up about it, taught, whatever, who knew a lot about surgical procedures, is probably a surgeon, more than likely. Probably isn't the first time that they've done this. This is just their most famous one, probably done it before. I don't know. What better hunting ground for a psycho, though, than Hollywood? Oh, hey, Amanda. Yeah, I didn't really realize that either. I knew she was young-ish, but I didn't think that she was just 22 years old. I thought maybe, mid to late 20s, maybe early 30s, possibly. But yeah, 22. Sad, but there's no doubt in my mind, though, the guy that did this was a surgeon. And he probably did this more than once. Weirdo. Psycho. Power trip. Ugh, just gross. But anyway, I'll keep going, though, until I get some more thoughts, and then we'll pause, and then we'll talk about it.
Interviewed more than 150 potential suspects linked to the Black Dahlia killing. Officers heard more than 60 confessions during the initial investigation, but none of them were considered legitimate. Since then, there have been more than 500 confessions, none of which led to anyone being charged. As time went on and the case went cold, many people assumed that the Black Dahlia murder was a date gone wrong, or that Short had run into a sinister stranger late at night while walking alone. After over 70 years, the Black Dahlia murder case remains open. But in recent years, a couple of intriguing and chilling theories have emerged. Shortly after his father's death in 1999, now retired LAPD detective Steve Hodel was going through his dad's belongings when he noticed 2 photos of a woman who bore a striking resemblance to Elizabeth Short. After discovering these haunting images, Hodel began using the skills he had gained as a policeman to investigate his own deceased father. Hodel went through newspaper archives and witness interviews from the case, and even filed a Freedom of
Okay, so I think I might have heard about this person. I'm pretty sure that there is a Dr. Phil episode where that he went on and was talking about how he thought his dad could have been the murderer. I guess he was, I think he was a surgeon or something in that period of time. And I don't know. I can't remember it all, but I'm pretty sure that I've seen that before. When I was browsing YouTube looking for videos that we could watch, I seen that. I'm pretty sure I seen the Dr. Phil thing. But I know for a fact if we watched some Dr. Phil on here, we would get a good strike in. So I wasn't even about to try that. I hope this one doesn't get us in trouble. Like I said, I'm going to link the channel in the description when we're done. So anybody wants to go and check out the channel we're watching right now, you want to go check them out, subscribe to them, check their content out, whatever, please do. We don't mean any harm by watching, other people's shit over here. We're just watching. Yeah, we're just watching. We give credit where credit is due. Oh, Dr. Phil's about to retire. Yeah. Yeah, it's like, what? Who the hell cares, man? I mean, you're getting free publicity from people. What the hell? But that's how it goes. I've heard people, some of these YouTubers I watched that have shared, like they've used like clips from Dr. Phil and shit like that. They get struck in a heartbeat. And I know, girl. I know. I don't know why, but it's whatever. But anyway, I've heard some theories about this. And another thing, and this is an occurrence that happens in a lot of different cases, not just the Dahlia case. Right, sus, very sus. But why is it that people want to take credit for these awful things? Like, I did it, I'm the murderer, but they're not. Why would you want to be known for doing something like this? Are you that sick in the head? Are you that starved for attention? Do you want to be famous like that? Like, I don't know about you, but if I wanted to be famous, I would want it to be for something good, like my talent, like my I don't know, like humanitarian work or something like that. I don't want to be famous for being a psycho weirdo killer or whatever. People are weird. They do the weirdest shit for attention. Like, I was watching this thing about this girl the other day. She had like a type of Munchausen syndrome, but she was like doing it to herself. I forget what her name was. But she ended up, she was injecting poo-poo, like feces, into her legs and stuff, and ended up having to get her legs amputated. I forget what her name was. But she was posting everything on social media, like every time she'd go to the hospital. And like she wanted attention that bad that she'd make herself sick to go to the hospital, and so she could take pictures and post and be like, oh, doing this, got, wanted attention that bad. That's gross. That's weird. I know a lot of people are like that. Like, I know somebody personally who kind of is, oh, give me likes for validation. Give me likes for validation. You know what I mean? Like, oh, give me sympathy for I need sympathy. Oh, give me all the sympathy. I don't understand it. I've never been one that wants sympathy. I don't do the pity party thing. So I've never really understand why people do that. But it's something people do, I guess. But it's whatever. It reminds me of the big eyes the wife painted while the husband took the record. Oh, okay. Big eyes. That sounds familiar. It wasn't there, is there a documentary or something? I couldn't tell you where, but I could have swore I've seen a documentary, something. It was called Big Eyes or some shit. Hang on, babe. I gotta wash my hands real quick. Ow! Oh, my foot. Okay, we're good. Sorry, I had something sticky on my hand. I don't know what the hell. Wasn't eating anything sticky or anything. Oh, okay. Maybe that's what I was thinking of. A movie. Yeah, okay. That's probably what I was thinking of. Anywho, all right, babe. Let's listen to the rest of this here.
Information Act to obtain FBI files on the Black Dahlia murder. He also had a handwriting expert compare samples of his father's writing to the writing on some of the notes sent to the press from the alleged killer. The analysis found a strong possibility that his father's handwriting matched, but the results were not conclusive. On the grislier side, the Black Dahlia crime scene photos showed that Short's body had been cut in a manner consistent with a hemicorporectomy, a medical procedure that slices the body beneath the lumbar spine. Hodell's father had been a doctor who attended medical school when this procedure was being taught in the 90s. Additionally, Hodell searched his father's archives at UCLA, finding a folder full of receipts for contracting work on his childhood home. In that folder, there was a receipt dated a few days before the murder for a large bag of concrete, the same size and brand as a concrete bag found near Short's body. By the time Hodell began his investigation, many of the police officers who originally worked on the case were already dead. However,
Okay, now that is super sus. That is super duper sus. So he was learning that exact procedure in medical school, getting construction work done on his home or whatever it said, ordering concrete and shit. That is very sus. I had another point that I was going to point out, but then it just left my head. Don't you hate it when that happens? I know, that's very strange. Because, look, like we were talking about a little bit ago, this guy, whoever did this, he knew what he was doing. Check. Probably has done it more than once. So what? I wonder about that childhood home. I wonder about that home. I wonder if it has ever been, dug up or whatever around that, whatever, to see if there's any bodies in the walls or in the floors or whatever. I vaguely remember hearing something about this. It might have been on that Dr. Phil show where they showed the home or something. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep going.
however, he carefully reconstructed conversations these officers had about the case. Eventually, Hodell compiled all of his evidence into a 2003 bestseller called Black Dahlia Avenger: The True Story. While fact-checking the book, Los Angeles Times columnist Steve Lopez requested official police files from the case and made an important discovery. Shortly after the murder, the LAPD had 6 main suspects and George Hodell on their list. In fact, he was such a serious suspect that his home was bugged in 1950 so the police could monitor his activities. Much of the audio was innocuous, but one chilling exchange stuck out. 8:25 p.m. Woman screamed. Woman screamed again. It should be noted, the woman not heard before the scream. Later that day, George Hodell was overheard telling someone, "Realized there was nothing I could do, put a pillow over her head and cover her with a blanket. Get a taxi." Expired 12:59. They thought there was something fishy. Anyway, now they may have figured it out. Killed her. He continued. Supposing I did kill the Black Dahlia. They couldn't prove it now. They can't talk to my secretary anymore because she's dead. Even after
Huh. How suspicious. Whoa. That is quite sus. That is quite sus. Now, he could be saying all that because he knows that his house is bugged, probably. Could be he's, talking crap, throwing him off, whatever. But if he didn't know that his house was bugged and he's saying that stuff, then red flag, I guess. All right, let's keep watching this and then we'll talk a little bit more about it or whatever.
After this shocking revelation, which seems to support that George Hodel killed Short and possibly also his secretary, the Black Dahlia case still hasn't been officially closed. However, this hasn't stopped Steve Hodel from investigating his father. He says he has found details from dozens of other murders that could possibly be connected to his father, implicating him not only as the Black Dahlia murderer, but also as a deranged serial killer. Hodel's research has even garnered some attention from law enforcement. In 2004, Stephen R.K., the head deputy for LA County's District Attorney Office, said that if George Hodel was still alive he would have enough to indict him for the Short murder. In 2017, British author Pugh Eatwell announced that she solved the decades-old case and published her findings in a book called Black Dahlia, Red Rose, The Crime, Corruption, and Cover-Up of America's Greatest Unsolved Murder. The real culprit, she claimed, was Leslie Dillon, a man who police briefly considered the primary suspect but ultimately let go. However, she also claimed there was much more to the case besides the killer himself. According to Eatwell, Dillon, who worked as a bellhop, murdered Short at the behest of Mark Hansen, a local nightclub and movie theater owner who worked with Dillon. Hansen was another suspect that had eventually been let go, and the owner of the address book that had been mailed to the Examiner. He later claimed that he gave the address book to Short as a gift. Short had reportedly stayed with Hansen a few nights, and he was one of the last people reported to have spoken with her before her death in a phone call on January 8. Eatwell alleges that Hansen was infatuated with Short and came on her, though she rebuffed his advances. Then, he supposedly called on Leslie Dillon to take care of her. Hansen, it seemed, knew Dillon was capable of murder, but didn't realize just how deranged he really was. Previously, Leslie Dillon had worked as a mortician's assistant, where he could have potentially learned how to bleed a body dry. Eatwell also discovered.
Now, that is interesting as well. Being a mortician's assistant, he probably did learn how to bleed a body. But would he have learned how to do that procedure to where, I forget what was called, the narrator here, the guy, he mentioned the procedure that was done to her when she was cut in half. Would he have learned how to do that? I don't know. Maybe he read some books. Something, I don't know. Morticians do autopsies, though, correct? Yeah, they do. But that particular kind of procedure? I don't know. It just boggles your mind, doesn't it? There's so many things. Personally, I think the dude's dad, I forget his name, that they were just talking about. Personally, I think that dude is probably the one who did it, honestly. But it could be this dude that we're talking about now. It's crazy, isn't it? It's craziness. Poor girl. That's all I got to say. Anyway, let's finish this.
Discovered from police records that Dillon knew details about the crime that had not yet been released to the public. One detail was that Short had a tattoo of a rose thigh, which had been shoved inside her vagina. For his part, Dillon claimed to be an aspiring crime writer and told authorities that he was writing a book about the Dahlia case, which never materialized. Despite all the evidence pointing to him.
Okay, now, that's a... Hello, love my golden. It is crazy, isn't it? Oh, okay, that is kind of weird. This guy knew about a tattoo that she had of a rose. that was cut off of her and shoved in her no area. Ew, it's kind of weird too, because this guy that we're talking about now was allegedly infatuated with Elizabeth. And she was like, "Nah, I'm good, man. Whatever. Nah, I'm okay, hon. Sorry, not interested." And he was a mortuary assistant as well. Yeah, very gross. Exactly. That's gross as fuck. And the whole shoving that into her hoo-hoo-hoo, that kind of gives me the vibes that somebody who wanted her and couldn't have her, so they wanted to defile her in the worst of ways. You guys get what I'm saying? Because that's a very personal thing to do to somebody, is cut her rose tattoo off of her and put it in. Oh, that is psychotic. Ew, it's weird. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what to think, my dolls. I do not know. All I know is this is horrible. This poor 22-year-old girl. This is one of the most gruesome things that has ever happened in American history. Oh. Anywho, all right, dolls. Stifle your vomit. I know that you want to puke. I know. I know it kind of makes you sick to your stomach, all this. But let's finish this up, and then we'll talk about our opinions and stuff, and then we'll wrap everything up for the day.
Dylan was never charged with the crime. Eatwell claims he was released due to Mark Hansen's ties to some of the cops at the LAPD. While Eatwell believes the department was corrupt to begin with, she also thinks that Hansen contributed largely to its corruption by exploiting his ties to certain officers. Another discovery that lent itself to Eatwell's theory was a crime scene found at the local motel. During her research, Eatwell came across a report by Astor Motel owner Henry Hoffman. The Astor Motel was a small, 10-cabin facility near the University of Southern California. On the morning of January 15, 1947, he opened the door to one of his cabins and found the room covered in blood and fecal matter. In another cabin, he discovered that someone had left a bundle of women's clothes wrapped up in brown paper, which was also stained with blood. Instead of reporting the crime, Hoffman simply cleaned it up. He had been arrested 4 days earlier for beating his wife and didn't want to risk another run-in with the police. Eatwell believes that the motel is where Short was murdered. Eyewitness reports, though uncorroborated, claim that a woman who resembled
I'm sorry, I keep pausing, guys, but I have things to say. So that hotel room was covered in blood and poo-poo, right? Rewind back to the crime scene where her body was. There was poo-poo in her stomach. I don't know. Did you guys catch that? I don't know if you guys have been here this whole time, but if not, definitely watch the playback on this when you can, for sure, because there's a lot of info at the beginning this guy was given. And again, let me say again that I will be putting the description, or I will be putting the link to this channel that we're watching right now in the description of this video when we are done. So If you like this video, please go check out more of their content. I can't remember the name of it right offhand, but I'll, like I said, I'll link the description. Or I'll put I'll put a link in the description, I mean. Okay? I'm sure they got some pretty decent content because I like this video. I know I'm going to check more of their stuff out. But anyway, the whole poop thing, I was like, huh. Poo-poo and blood. She had poo-poo in her stomach as if she were forced to eat it. Ugh, I don't know. Let's finish this off. We only got a minute left.
Was seen at the motel for the murder. Eatwell's theories have not been proven, as everyone involved with the original Black Dahlia murder case is most likely dead by now, and many official LAPD documents remain locked away in vaults. However, Eatwell remains confident in her findings and truly believes that she solved the mysterious and gruesome case of the Black Dahlia murder. Though we still don't know for certain who killed the Black Dahlia, these recent theories present compelling cases. And it's possible that the truth is still out there, just waiting for the right investigation to finally bring it to light. If you enjoyed the
Okay. So that was that. Oh, wow. What a case, dude. What a freaking case that is, though. I'm so glad that we talked about it and went over it today, though, because, like I said, this is one case that got me in to this true crime stuff, to put it lightly. The Black Dahlia, I know the JonBenet Ramsey, that one really got me. A lot of cult stuff too. We'll definitely have to talk about cult stuff, because Jonestown and Waco, Texas, and the Heaven's Gate and all that, I know we've talked about a little bit, but we'll definitely have to get into that stuff as well. What else? I can't remember specifically at the moment, but I do know this is one that has really, really captivated a lot of people. This is one of the most famous ones of all. You know what I mean? I also thought about doing a little bit of, I know a little bit about Jack the Ripper. You guys remember Jack the Ripper? I think he went on a killing spree, and what was it, like England or something, and he was killing prostitutes or something. I thought about maybe doing a deep dive into him on one of our True Crime Tuesdays or something one of these days, perhaps. But also, like you and I were talking, Amanda, like you showed me a lot of strange ones, like the lady who spontaneously combusted. That I'd really like to get into. I'll really have to check that out. Or the lady that ate like what was it, like 5-6 pounds of potatoes and died. I don't mean to laugh. It's not funny, but it's the fact that it's so outrageous. Okay, Jodi Arias is when I went head first into true crime. Yeah, I watched it all. Nancy Grace, gotcha. Yeah, Jodi Arias, whatever the hell. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but that's another one. Casey Anthony. That ugh. Casey Anthony. Don't get me started on that sick biatch. You will never convince me that Casey Anthony is innocent. She neglected, and if she didn't intentionally, murder her child, allegedly, I mean, she did it. I mean, allegedly, though, allegedly, she was proven not guilty. Yeah, I wonder how many D's she had to suck for whatever. 5 pounds of potatoes. Yeah, that's what it was. Oh my God, I just can't imagine. But yeah, I'm sorry. I will never ever believe that Casey Anthony did not contribute to her child's demise. I will say. I'll put it that way. Anywho, just like you will not convince me that at least Candace Wells did not contribute in one way or another to the disappearance of Summer Wells. Yeah, she's mad whack. Fuck Casey Anthony and fuck Jodi Arias. She's a dumb bitch. I can't stand those dumb bitches who act like they're so innocent. I'm a nice little church girl. But in reality, she was like a psycho stalker who stalked her boyfriend, ex-boyfriend. She like stalked the shit out of him. It's like, bitch, you can't handle rejection. I mean, you're not an ugly girl. I mean, your personality probably is why you couldn't get another man. I'm sure, or no men wanted to be with you, is because of the way you were a psycho. I'm sure, but that just goes to show looks aren't everything. Looks are not everything. I wish they'd reopen her entire case and start over, right? Exactly. Would be nice, wouldn't it? But you know what I can say about these sickos who didn't receive what was coming to them in life? They do deserve, but they didn't receive what they deserved, which is very strict punishment. Guess what? When their time comes, when they are ready to leave this earth, that is when they will receive the highest punishment of all. Just saying. And I'm not saying this as a religion thing. It's not a religion thing. It's just a fact. Just as if you're good and put out good into the world, you will receive good. If you're bad and put out bad into the world, you receive misery and badness. They will get it. They will get what's coming to them. Sociopath, no empathy, manipulative. Yep. Exactly, Amanda. Exactly. No, I got to do my PG thing. Absolutely. Old wiggle wiggle. But they'll get what's coming to them. The big man upstairs, he knows. He knows what you did. He knows. You will receive what's coming to you. And regardless if you believe in God or not, you don't have to believe in God or anything like that. Because karma is real. You get what you give. That's why when her wiggly voice. Oh my god, I can't stand it. Oh my goodness. Poor little Summer, man. I'm sorry. I know this video isn't about Summer or anything, but I just feel I know you do too, Amanda. I know a lot of us do. Like, I've been watching Doug, but this past couple lives he did, I don't really go into chat anymore because I can't stand his fucking mods. Like, there's so many fucking rules. Oh, rules. Don't forget the rules. It's like, oh my God, he doesn't even follow his own rules. So you expect me to go by your little rules, but the host isn't abiding by his own rules that he sets? Fuck no. I ain't doing that. I'm sorry. Maybe I have a problem with authority. That could be. But these motherfuckers don't got no authority. They're mods. I mean, yeah, they got authority, and, I guess in a way. But really, like, you're going to preach to me about rules and the host isn't even following his own rules? I'm good. I still watch because I enjoy him calling out and pointing the shit out for these interviews with the Don Wells and shit like that. And I really think that he has some good things going on. But I'm not going to go into a chat where I have to abide by rules that the host isn't abiding by. That's all. That's all. That's all I'm saying. And I didn't mean to be offensive when I said mods don't have authority, because you guys do. We, as hosts, we trust you guys. We put you in a position or wherever. But you guys on here, my peeps on here, you guys don't have power tripping issues. We've talked about this before. Don was on the lab. I started it this morning, need to finish. The whole thing is devastating for full circle. Yeah. Yeah, the lab. Yeah. Doug was showing a little bit about that. I'm pretty sure that's what he was showing. I keep forgetting about that guy, the lab. What's his name? Josh. I'll have to go check him out sometime. I heard him through the Upchurch thing because he was going after Upchurch, and Church was calling him Baby Gap and shit like that. I don't know. I don't know why he has he has it out for Ryan so badly, but he does. Whatever. I guess, hey, Ryan Upchurch's name, if you put it in the title, he's going to get you some views. I mean, Queen Bee did it for a while too. She had him there for a while when that stuff happened with the whole Kylie Rodney and Upchurch thing. Boy, old Queen Bee was like, oh yeah, perfect views. No offense if you like her, if anybody watches it and you like her, that is totally okay. I'm just saying the truth. I'm just saying the truth. I think it is because he mentioned, what if Kylie wasn't really her? Right. Yeah. Yes. I mean, what if she wasn't? What if it was all yeah, like we were talking about, Amanda. We had a discussion, Stranger things have happened. I don't know. I just think that somebody who thinks outside the box, I like that way of thinking. I think that's pretty intelligent. Anyway, my darlings, I think I'm going to jump off here. Thank you for coming in, Amanda, Golden. Love you, babes. Mwah. Thank you for watching this with me, sharing your thoughts and opinions on stuff. Love talking with you guys. Thank you, everybody who watches the playback. I love you so, so much. I hope this was entertaining to you. Like I said, the video we watched, I will link the channel in the description of this video as soon as I get off here. So hopefully we don't get a strike. Please don't strike me. I appreciate your content. I'm going to watch a lot of it and probably subscribe if I like it. Yeah, right. I know. I'd be the same way. Like, wait a minute. What if? What if? There's just too many what ifs. What if? What if? You know? But yes, tomorrow we will talk about some history stuff. What do we want to talk about tomorrow? Maybe I'll show you guys another shipwreck. You guys know I love my shipwrecks. There's so many. Or maybe we'll talk about a ghost town. Show you guys some footage. We'll see. Like I said, guys, you got to keep an eye on the channel. See what I'm doing. Keep up with everything. Your girl's spontaneous. But I hope you like this, guys. I really do. I enjoy doing this shit. And I want to be better. I want to be better. I want to do better stuff. And we'll get there. We'll get there. All right, babes. If I don't catch you tonight in another chat room somewhere, maybe. I don't really chat much anymore. I just silently watch because people annoy me. But if I don't catch you tonight somewhere or we chat privately or whatever, then I will talk to you guys tomorrow. I wish you health, wealth, success, and happiness. Always, always, always. Mwah. I love you. And I send blessings and protection over all of your houses. If you're hearing my voice right now, I am sending you blessings. I am sending you protection. I am sending you love, light, all of it. Positive energy to you. Okay? You have a good one too, babe. It's okay, doll. It happens. Yes, that is it. Love my golden. Oh, that was the chair, not me. I love you guys. I really, really do. You're so very appreciated. I hope you know that. I'm going to remind you every chance that I get. Okay. I love you guys again. I'm sorry I always do my long outros. I don't have my outro music because we're on Restream, but whatever. I love yous. Be safe. And I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Okay? Mwah. Bye-bye.